My name is Rachel Bonds. I am a master's student in African Studies with the African Studies Department at Stanford University. The title of my presentation was Healthcare Service Delivery in Somalia, a Terrain of Intersection. I presented this research at Africa Table Lecture Series at Stanford University. The central question of my research was how healthcare service delivery is provided, especially in a failed state setting, and I wanted to challenge the notion of a failed state and compare it to dynamics of service delivery. I've spent the past 9 months from September of 2012 until now working on this research at Stanford University through a variety of online databases from multilateral institutions and NGOs of all types. One of the most important findings of this research is that healthcare services are being provided in really innovative ways by a variety of different types of systems in Somalia. In particular, Somaliland provides a really interesting example of the Somali private sector stepping up and developing quality healthcare services, and even partnering with the government of Somaliland to offer concession contracts and subsidize healthcare service delivery for low-income Somalis, which really points to a way moving forward for the rest of the country, and also the importance of looking at local systems in healthcare delivery. One specific example that stood out to me while doing my research is the story of Dr. Abdi, a doctor in Mogadishu. She purchased a small plot of land during the President Barre regime, and over the past 20 years, in the midst of conflict, she's grown a one-room clinic to a 400-bed hospital with 3 operating rooms, 6 doctors, 43 nurses, an 800 children's school, and an adult education center. And I like to tell this story when doing my research because while it is a pretty profound example of Somalis stepping up in service delivery, I think it's really important to bring the individual back into focus when talking about large-level systems. And I think it's also really important to bring Somalis back to the central focus of stories about Somalia. I'm concluded with the research portion of this work, and now I will be traveling in July of 2013, this year, to USAID's East Africa office in Washington, D.C., where I will pursue this research on their Somalia team. One of the problems of doing my research was obviously incomplete data, which everybody knows working on Somalia is a very serious issue, especially when you're not doing field work. And so to counteract this one, I looked at multiple databases. I cross-checked all of the, for example, all of the government sites that I had, and then I looked through all of the news stories to see if I could find any news stories of those clinics being closed or reopened, for example. But as with any research done during times of conflict, it's likely that some of the research is in flux and it's changing constantly, but that's definitely the biggest challenge I faced when mapping service delivery.